moderated by Anusha, Adapa, and we have Rumi and Hima with us from IBM. So without much delay, I will leave the floor open to Anusha. You can carry it on.
Thank you, ma'am. So good evening to one and all present here. A very warm welcome to the International Symposium Aspire with VTU. I am Anusha Adapa, and it's a great privilege for me to be a part of this event to moderate this session of IBM Open PTech Discover Cutting Edge Technology. I completed my engineering and information science from Gokte Institute of Technology, affiliated to VTU. Currently, I'm working as a system engineer in Tata Consultancy Services. I feel very honored to introduce our eminent speakers for today's session. We have with us Rumi Mallick Mitra, who is a leader, strategy and new initiatives, IBM India, South Asia. Rumi was leading the CSR function for India and South Asia till 2019 and was responsible for designing and executing the India CSR portfolio to align with Government of India 2% CSR law, building large-scale education and skill development initiatives in collaboration with the central ministry and state government in India. She has designed and initiated IBM flagship programs like STEM for girls for government schools running across 10 states to impact 2 lakh girls and 1 lakh boys, along with large-scale program in blended learning models to build new age technology skills and professional skills. In the current role, Rumi is driving strategy and partnership to introduce a global program in India with a focus on digital platforms for learning. Rumi has 18+ years of experience working on strategic priorities of responsible business and sustainable social impact. She leverages her strong understanding of India development priorities, her experience of the social sector and business scenarios to design strong social impact programs. Prior to joining IBM, Rumi was senior president with NASCOM Foundation. She's based in Bangalore. It's an honor to have you here, Rumi. A very warm welcome to you. Our next panel member is Hima. Hima works for IBM India Private Limited as Global Enablement Leader for Hybrid Cloud Infrastructure Services in GTS. She has worked across various business units within IBM, gaining experience across HR, business controls, security, service delivery, account management, compliance, project management, technical delivery, and skill enablement during her last 16 years in the organization. She has traveled extensively across UK in her role as client support manager. Over and above her functional role, she is also a champion for women empowerment and diversity and inclusion advocate. Hima has won various accolades for her service in IT across various roles, including IBM Bravo Award, IBM Hall of Fame, Manager Choice Award, Client Awards at UKI, to name a few. Hima is a passionate campaigner for women in technology and an active volunteer for STEM, that is Science, Technology, Engineering and Math program for girls, encouraging and guiding young girls from universities and schools into taking the STEM careers. She is a co-facilitator for Business Acumen Advanced Communication for Technical Leaders at IBM. She is a Be Equal Ambassador at IBM for Diversity and Inclusion Initiatives. She was recently made the council members for WICCI, that is Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry for Karnataka Heritage and Culture. She has also been a part of various women empowerment programs across various groups outside of her work. She comes from a heritage of women supporting women. Hima has participated as an active speaker on various topics covering women development, women in leadership, single parenting and child mental health, diversity and inclusion, work-life balance and mindfulness, etc. She's a leader who believes if you want to see a change, be the change. Thank you so much for joining. It's a great privilege to have you here with us today. A very warm welcome to both of you.
Thank you so much, Anusha. We are very privileged to be a part of this launch.
This is for our audience. Please note, when we end this session, we will be open for the forum for our lovely audience to ask questions to Rumi and Hima. So Hima, we read and hear that industry is transforming with new technology and processes. Could you please tell us how does this change look like and where is it heading towards?
Well, can you guys hear me now? Am I clear? Audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, great. So let's start from here, right? So technology has become more and more a center of all the industries for the past few years, as I have seen. Technology like mobile apps, phones, mobile internet is becoming more and more common day to day in our day-to-day lives. Now, if you see a street vendor today and he doesn't take cash, he will just show you Google Pay or UPI to pay up. What does this really say? One way I think I should reflect on this, that the pandemic has accelerated the pace of this technology adoption far too at a greater extent for all of us. As consumers, we ourselves, our expectations have increased and we need immediate results, right? We no longer have the patience to wait in banks and queues to go and deposit, and everything is happening online. So what does it really tell you about what's happening around you from a technology transformation perspective? More and more services are going online. That's what it's telling. And all these transformations are primarily being enabled by technologies like cloud, hybrid cloud, AI, blockchain, automations. All this is running at the background to make this service more usable by the consumers. So what are the organizations doing with this transformation coming their way? Organizations now are facing a very unprecedented convergence of technology growth, social growth, as well as regulatory forces are also being applied on them. So it is it is a combined impact for the organization. So what do? They come up, they have to be fast in restructuring their standard business strategies and moving up and adapting to the next new age technology footprint and making it faster in adapting, right? That's where they are. They are looking for technologies that are flexible, agile, secure, scalable, more resilient, and whatever that can transform and make it quite adaptable for them and their consumers. So we are seeing industries today, honestly, if you say 50% of their growth profits or whatever that they're trying to, the profits that they want to reap off, they are putting and investing inside hybrid cloud technology area and environment. Hybrid cloud is nothing but it's a combination of a platform and a private and public cloud combination where you can actually put services in all the places and make it faster and cost effective, right? And it is also predicted 3 to 5 years from now, 50% of your workloads will be shifting into public cloud. Why? Because it's cheaper, it's manageable. And to really answer your question, I think the digital transformation is actually giving us a great opportunity, Anusha, to grow our economy today. And we must be aware of what is coming in from a technology perspective as engineering students, and we should embrace this change. This is the time for us to really find that impact and go along with this transformation. That would be my answer to you.
Thank you, Hima. That was wonderful. Thank you for your insight. Now, I really want to know, how is this transformation going to affect us, students or those who are preparing for their first job? We understand that we need to adopt. Can you please tell us what are the important things that we are supposed to do and what is expected from us by the industries?
Yeah, I think that's the next important thing that we should dwell into. Um, as engineering and technology is becoming central to our lives today, as I told you, let me reflect a bit about what I had read a few days back. It says India is a country that is producing over 1.5 million engineers year after year. The number that has only been climbing. That means that some of the best tech talents in the industry are in India today, right? With over 1,000 global delivery centers across 80 countries, India is surely going to have one of its digital hub of the world. It's going to become one of the digital hub of the world. And the future is definitely in India. So all the engineers don't get worried about why did you take engineering. This is the time for you all to excel, and you are in the right place. That is one thing I should reassure. Now, coming down to this whole thing gives engineers a lot more opportunities in different fields, much more than it used to have in the previous decades, right? Mechanical, and you need to be in that, or civil, you need to be in that domain. Not necessary. I think as we are developing and technology is developing, opportunities are growing, as I already told. Now, hence having the only thing that keeps on, making it a very strong wish from my heart is we are having more women in the engineering roles is very critical. Today, we don't have so much. Women today make half of our workforce, as we know, and only 25% of them have really taken STEM jobs today. Otherwise, nobody is really, as Sudhamurthy ma'am was saying, I think a lot of things they're holding back on. The opportunities are there, everything is open, but some reason is enough for them to hold back and say, you know what, we don't want to be a part of the league. I think that needs to change. And we need to, when we are developing certain innovations and we are coming up with inventions and coming up with new programs in technology, how can we lose out on the women's perspective about this invention? You really just imagine that means you're losing out half of the entire population's perspective taken into consideration for you to develop a product, which is not going to be a complete product. Once it comes onto the thing, you will say, oh, this is missing, that is missing. You will find faults. So I think my aim, and I think that's what we have to drive here, is to give the awareness that women should start looking at these careers as one of the main career streams for themselves and not as an option or give up after marriage or any other crisis. More and more IT infrastructure is becoming as a code now. This is another thing which is happening to throw light on what should engineers look at, be it men or women. This is for both. So software development and coding is becoming a hot skill that is required for all the industries today. Even those that may not be computer science engineering, who are not a part of that stream, should know coding. They have to understand how this information technology works, becomes a critical success factor for their careers, meaning they should logically be able to stitch those technologies together. So it is not an option not to know these technologies, or it's okay not to know them. I think it's important you do spend that foundational level understanding of the technology. And what this will do is that eventually even non-technical students, non-engineering students are required to know this technology as it's the key skill, meaning you need to know what is blockchain at a level that you can understand and articulate and sell the product. You need to know what is cloud. So you need to know the basic foundations across the technologies. And automation, I'll tell you how the industries work today. Automation is becoming the heart of every organization today. AI is like spreading everywhere. What they're doing is, if that something is repetitive, they will immediately automate it. What does it do? It frees up the human mind to be applied for more creative and innovative activities and challenge its capacity rather than being used for rhythm kind of activities, which leads us to the next point, that every student needs to have critical thinking skills, innovative mindset, and ability to add more value to value than an automated robot that can provide in an industry. right? That's what's coming up as the new age requirement of what kind of roles we should get prepared and what kind of skills we need to have. So on a cut short summary for you, technologies like cloud, AI, blockchain, etc. are key requirements for technical skills today for IT professionals. Knowing DevOps, agile methods, and development, etc. are also required. Coding skills and coding mindset is required. Critical thinking. This is what I'm telling as skills that we are going to start growing now, going forward. And this is what companies are going to buy and look out for, because everything else they can automate, right? Now, to adapt to these changes, what should an engineering student or a student really look out for? Sorry, that's my Daniel. He keeps giving me time. Please ignore that. But the question is, what should they really look out for? First one is continuous learning. Sudhamurthy ma'am spoke about it. Life doesn't stop teaching you. You should continuously learn. So I'll just give you a quick example, not to bore you guys. My background was HR when I joined IBM. I moved departments. I took the challenge of learning each and every area of the company and the organization. Then when I came back from maternity with a 4-month child, I decided to plunge into IT space with GTS. And after that, I didn't turn back. You know why? IT is the only space that gives you continuous technology developments and learnings, and you continuously need to keep yourself updated with the new age technology. And that learning curve impressed me so much that today I feel I was fortunate and I did the right decision of moving this different role, taking the risk of being passionate to learn. And I think that comes with us keeping this learning as your second attitude itself. Sometimes you have to learn, relearn, unlearn, and again learn, right? So this attitude of adaptability of learning new things is very critical. That's your first point. Second, get industry ready. Very critical, very important. You need to understand as students how each industry works. How does a pharmaceutical industry work? How does a telecom work? How does an aerospace work? These are different industries. You need to understand their flow of business, understand what they work on. And it's very easy now. I'm sure Rumi is going to be talking about it shortly. There are very free courses that you don't even have to pay for it, but it's all available. And IBM PTech is a platform that gives you this knowledge as well, where it makes you industry ready. And it's very critical for students or engineering students to know the spaces, right? The third thing is mentorship and internship. You need to utilize this mentorship and internship that is gaining experience, where you can actually leverage the networking skills. Many people coming into a company forget how to network, They feel they're comfortable in their own space. They don't need to talk. No, the networking skills of who are the mentors you can talk to. And I think Aspire for her is also a space where you have so many mentors and coaches available. They can actually give you insights about the industries which are they are supporting, and you really need to build that context even before you get into a job, right? That's your third point. This is my personal favorite because I have burnt my fingers with this. Please learn to manage your personal finances properly. You might be an engineer, you might get a fantastic job. If you really don't understand the nuances of financial management, whatever you are doing today, you can be a meticulous worker, but you're not good at your money. You will always get into this role of jumping jobs because you need to satisfy something else, and you're creating a hole using credit cards and all that. Please learn not to do that. And by doing your financial management well and having an understanding how much you should save, what you should save, really stabilizes your career growth. You don't have to jump so many jobs to feed in your basic stuff, right? Last but not the least, I think attitude towards work is critical. You will be faced with more risk and challenges on an environment where you don't have any guidance. You might have a mentor you can check with, but you need to learn to be resilient. You cannot give up. You cannot say this is not something I can't do. You need to take that ounce of risk and jump and make sure that explore the place that people don't know. And then whenever the technology is transforming so much, companies look for people who are willing to go and learn and put that first plan on the page, on the table. Many people fear taking such risks because they fear of failure. Why will you fail in a space that nobody's even tried to do? That's the question I have. To many people, many students, I mean, many colleagues who come and say, oh, I'm not doing that project. No, you should go and do it because nobody has done it before and you'll never be right or wrong in that. If you failed, great, you learned. If you succeeded, then you will be the one who actually created a legacy for that start. And I think you should not miss those opportunities. So I hope I did not overspill my discussion points, Anusha, but I covered what I thought I should share with the students.
Yeah, thank you, Hima. That was really insightful and helpful. And you mentioning about we getting job and industry ready, it's really inspiring. So now as we understand, we need to build our skill set. And as also Hima mentioned that we need to get industry ready. So Rumi, could you please tell us what kind of skills are we talking about here and how do we go about this? Also, please tell us about the Open PTech platform. How can it help us? And what is the purpose of IBM starting such a platform?
Yes, thank you, Anusha. And let me start by saying a big thank you to the leadership team in VTU, as well as the Aspire for Her team for inviting IBM to be a part of this program. We are extremely honored to be here. And also a big thank you to all of you who are listening in from the different channels. It's late in the afternoon, and we are extremely grateful that you have decided to log in and listen to us. We hope this conversation is going to be interesting and useful to you. So Anusha, coming to your question, I think Hima has covered a lot of grounds and a lot of very important grounds, along with a lot of very useful tips for not only students who are here, but all of us, I would say. Today, just being well educated is not necessarily enough to get a sustainable employment. And why I use the sustainable piece of it is that, a good education background and a degree can get you an interview. It may just also get you the job, but to stay in the job requires a lot more. Now, employers today, you heard a lot about technology and emerging technology and technologies all pervasive today, and it becomes critical to be updated about those technologies and what is happening in the real world. What is also important is what we call as transferable skills, which is the ability to be able to demonstrate that you can learn and you can develop and you can unlearn and you can learn more. Learning something new it can pay off, not only in your current opportunities, but in future, and you heard about that. Hima talked a lot about digital transformation, and digital transformation, of course, touches every existing industry today and business, even if the business is not necessarily employing what we call as tech workers or technology workforce. You heard about critical thinking, you heard about growth mindset, you heard about physical and mental health also to an extent, mindfulness. Now these and continuous learning, these are all critical. And if you still haven't perhaps understood why they are important, let me reinforce with 3 key points. One, developing these skills are actually considered a priority at the workplace, and it is important for your career that you continuously develop such skills which are marketable, which are transferable. The second, it is also vital and important for your employer's preparedness and how they respond to the changing market. So as you enter your workplace, or as you start working in those companies, it is also important for you to keep contributing to that effort. And third, you must know that all good companies, all growing companies look at transferable skills, what we call as 21st century skills. So you have an additional, sort of responsibility to see that not only you're updated on your technical skills, you're also able to gather and really able to learn those various other skills that we talk about, 21st century skills, transferable skills, that are becoming more and more critical as we move forward. So it is necessary for you to equip themselves, and it's necessary for you to continuously keep on learning. Now, we have been talking about these skills quite a bit. Let me just take a step back and let me expand, give you a couple of examples of what these skills are. And I know a lot of it is probably, you have heard about them, you have had these words thrown at you, critical thinking, we keep talking about that. And please please understand, they are as important as they could ever be. So let me start with something that is probably something that you have heard a lot of times, digital literacy. Now, what does it mean? It simply means that you've got to be familiar with a variety of technologies, because as you continuously increase your knowledge about emerging technologies, this will also help your employers understand that you are trainable, or you can adopt, you can quickly jump into a new program or a new device or a new project that requires those essential new technology skills areas. We talked about problem solving skills and critical thinking skills. Now, these two are integrated, they are also separate. Very important is that, today's, you need ample practice to have authentic experiences around problem solving, whether it is in your current academic programs, whether it is the practical application of what you are learning. Critical thinking skills, again, I'm not going to talk further. We all are aware of what it means for everyone. What is also emerging as another very important area of understanding is what we call as global citizenship. Gone are those days when you would be dealing with only people who are at the same country or the same cultural background. Today, we are working with a very global workforce. So what you need to be is to be culturally sound, to be well versed in this kind of global citizenship areas, to be aware of how other cultures, people from other cultures work. So this kind of an awareness to be able to communicate with multicultural team is becoming more and more critical, and that's what employers are looking for. Again, another skill, adaptability or cognitive flexibility, for example. Apologies if this word sounds too much, but adaptability is fairly simple, and I think that came across when you were hearing even the VTU leadership talk about the newer programs that has been introduced, or Dr. Sudha Murthy talking about how as a woman you have to adapt to different changing scenarios, or when Hima was talking about how do you adapt to new circumstances, new technologies, new business models, new strategies. Being adaptable is the most important skill that you need to have, and so is cognitive flexibility, which means the need to be able to change your thinking quickly to new problems, to new situations. These are essential. I can list off many more skills that are going to become essential. One particular one is assessing, accessing, and analyzing information, for example. So today it is no longer about also how much you can know. It is only that much that a person can know or a person can hold in your brain. It is also about how much can you find out, which means as young people, you need not necessarily have a head full of knowledge. All you need to do is have the skills to be able to access information, to be able to solve a problem. So what is important is to be able to know how to access, and once you access that information, how do you process it, how do you analyze it, how do you sift through it so that you're able to make really informed judgments about those. So how do you analyze it? In addition to what we are talking about here, there is also, a stronger self-awareness, emotional intelligence, not to mention curiosity, love for learning, and of course, communication skills. All of these are extremely critical as we move forward, in addition to also having a growth mindset. Now, we don't want to really, just burden you with all of these newer areas and newer thinking and new skills that we are talking about. We also hopefully have a solution for you. In the modern workplace, as you know, all of these skills are going to be required at some form or the other, or some combination, from a collaboration skills to listening and writing to the deeper analysis skills and data analysis skills, etc. Now, these are going to become more and more important as we go forward. What we also see as an opportunity is a stronger, what we call as university and industry collaboration. Now, today, given the needs that are emerging, there is a wider opportunity for campuses, for academics to partner with industry. This is not something new. This has been happening for a long time already, but the new education policy has also laid out a very strong foundation for newer models of such collaborations to grow, where industry and academia can work together so that we are able to address some of those gaps that exist in the curriculum. It is not easy to change a curriculum. It is never easy for an university to update, add, change, supplement curriculum. And this is where we as companies, as IBM, we come in to complement and supplement the academic programs in schools, in colleges and in campuses and schools, so that youth or young people are much more prepared to the real life out there and the real needs in the industry. Now, let me take a pause. And this is the kind of catalyst role that IBM has been playing and has been trying to play. I, of course, represent the CSR team, and globally, a large part of our focus is about lifelong learning. How do we create an enabling environment that a student early on from a school to even vocational learning, to college, to higher learning, are able to get real life experiences of where technology makes a difference, what professional skills are all about. So we do anchor a lot of programs, that start from schools and go upwards, that reinforce much of this learning process. These are classroom experiences, but we also have, in the last 1 year, tried to open up and bring more and more users, more and more students and learners into the network by creating a lot of online learning opportunities. And this is where Open PTech as a program comes in. So just to answer that second part of your question, Anusha, Open PTech, as the name suggests, and let me just also expand it. Open PTech is Pathways to Technology, which is a global program that IBM has for the past 1 decade, where we have looked at building those necessary technology and workplace skills for students who are in early college, so that they are much more prepared for the industry. When we were looking at it, we found that this is only that much we can do when we have a brick and mortar school model. So we wanted to expand all the offerings and the values that we have created in PTech to a much larger and wider audience, which is where Open PTech as an online self-learning platform came into being. So Open PTech, in very simple terms, it's a online learning platform that provides meaningful career exploration and industry relevant skills for youth. It has easy language, engaging videos, gamified assessment that can help students understand a lot of these topics that we have been talking about, whether it is about emerging technology areas that Bindu has mentioned, that Hima has been mentioning many times in the context of industry, whether it is artificial intelligence, cloud technology, data analytics, or blockchain, or cybersecurity, or any of these key areas that are very critical for the industry, or the transferable skills, the professional development skills, the skills that are going to keep you there as you get into the job. All of these have been curated on Open PTech online learning platform. Very simply said, the content is curated, and why we believe that Open PTech is a good potential solution for students to learn and continue learning in addition to what they're learning in academics is, we already explained the gap that exists between what is taught in academic program and what is really required in the industry, as you understand, because industry is moving very fast, and college curriculums, university curriculums may not be able to keep up to that speed that it's moving. But also in Open PTech, all the content has been curated and tailored by a diverse team of instruction designers, educators, and subject matter experts at IBM and outside, so that it is not only industry relevant, it is also appropriate to the learners whom we are taking Open PTech to. Again, another very, I would say, very appropriate thing for us is that access to the platform is entirely cost-free to any individuals, any institutions, colleges that are ready to join. It is also important because as we move forward, not everybody would like to keep investing and spending money in learning. And we believe in democratizing the process, which means if you have the ability, you would like to bring it forth for everyone to have a equal ground towards learning. Hence, we maintain it as a cost-free platform to learn from. The platform also gives you what we call as industry recognized credentials or badges, which are very critical. And they also do not come at a cost. They also come free. As you complete a course, you're able to get an IBM badge or IBM partners badges. There are many other companies who have also brought in their courses on our platform, and you do get an industry badge as you complete a course. This in itself, as you know, gives you a ramp up to your resume, to your professional skills that you're able to show your first employer or as you move to higher education. I'm going to pause here because there's a lot more that I would like to talk about Open PTech on, from the kind of courses that is available, or how do you get a badge, or where can you really start your learning, etc. But I would pause here by saying that why Open PTech, why we are at this point of time, we opened the platform in June this year, and we have about 60,000 users from India across the board, from higher education, colleges, and others. And the users have surprised us with the speed and the intensity of learning that we see on the platform. It again reinforces the idea that, when we used to talk about online learning, and we understand that online learning is not a natural behavior of users. Even if you tell me, Rumi, you have to learn 60 hours in a month, I would say, not really. But we have seen that we have been proved wrong many times. The other advantage of an Open PTech is that you don't really always need to sit in front of a computer or a laptop to learn it. It is mobile friendly, and we know all of you are with your smartphones doing very smart things all the time. This has also made Open PTech very popular because all the courses on Open PTech can be accessed through your mobile phone. You don't even need a 4G. I operate on a 3G, for example, and I can still take all the courses and badges out there. And interestingly, if you are taking a course and you pause and you don't want to take it anymore right now, there's something else that you want to do, you can join back at the same place when you log in again. So you don't lose any learning out there. It also helps you to track your learning, to see your progress, to see where you have left behind, to also see how many badges that you must take. There are recommended learning, and there is a host of features available that has been designed in a way that students and their teachers and trainers and the HODs are able to learn and track and support the network more effectively. In addition to what Open PTech does, and I know I'm talking quite long, but let me just add that what we also bring in as a part of our programs are leaders like Hima and many others who lend their years of expertise of learning and training to the network. You are not going to only learn, but with help from Hima and the Aspire for her team, you're also going to get an opportunity to network and learn more and be mentored around some of those topics that we are talking about. I'm going to pause here, Anusha. Thank you.
Thank you, Hima. That was wonderful. You have covered almost so many aspects, and you have really simplified it for us now. It's really interesting to know about this platform. So Rumi, may I ask you, how can we use this platform effectively to start our learning journey?
Yes, sure. So let me also, as I mentioned before, that the courses that you are available in Open PTech have been initially designed for IBMers and IBM clients and partners. So you can understand that they come with that level of quality and credibility that is available. However, what is interesting is that we have got a whole set of instruction designers and experts who have now curated much of that industry curriculum for users of your age group, for example. Before I say anything, let me just request you to perhaps show one or two videos, very brief videos that we have on Open PTech. If I can request the team to just play them from your side. That will give you a show of what Open PTech is, how does it look like, how does it work. and how easy it is to use for every student or a teacher or a college principal, HOD, and others. Can we play the video, please?
Yes, sure.
And education systems struggle to stay on pace. Open PTech helps close this gap. The platform offers free digital learning on the latest technologies, specifically designed for students and their educators. In addition to engaging and friendly online courses, students have recognized digital badges from IBM and other partners, the same that many professionals are earning on the job. The learning topics range from professional skills, such as complex problem solving and computational thinking, to foundational skills in emerging technologies, such as cybersecurity, blockchain, artificial intelligence, and design thinking. When you earn a badge on Open PTech, you can easily add it to your LinkedIn profile and resume to signal to potential employers or universities that you have the baseline tech and professional skills they're looking for. Courses were designed to engage a 14 to 20-year-old audience, featuring interactive, self-paced learning modules, videos, and gamified assessments to spark and keep students interested. Open PTech offers an intuitive interface with easy navigation and works seamlessly on all devices, ensuring flexible access from anywhere that has an internet connection. The tool is available globally in English and Portuguese and will be accessible in more languages in the near future. Sign up for a free account to start building the skills you need for the jobs of tomorrow.
Thank you. Yes, well, thank you very much. And as you saw in the video, the registration to Open PTech is fairly simple. I would have loved to show a demo, but I think I'm not able to really show the screen right now. Apologies. But what is essential? Just a couple of points, Anusha, to your question. How do you use it effectively? One, the registration to the platform is free and it's simple. We would encourage everyone to get in touch with Aspire for Her team to see how they can enroll and start learning. The team at Aspire for Her is available to guide colleges and college leadership to see how you can make most use of what's available on the Open PTech platform. Registration is free, but we also want to track how you are learning, and hence it becomes important for us to see how you are registering. Second, in terms of the courses, as you saw, you have a bunch of technology learning courses, and you have a bunch of what we call as workplace and professional development courses. How it is designed is that it not only tells you, for example, what cloud infrastructure or cloud is all about, or hybrid cloud is all about. It actually gives you real life context of where it is being used or how it is being used in the industry. The same applies for a data analysis course, for example. It links you. Today you will say data analysis and AI and machine learning. Are they all different? Are they all same? Well, you have to go to Open PTech to understand that, and it will give you very practical linkages of really from a data analytics learning to machine learning to artificial intelligence. How does it progress? Where is the link? And we are hoping that many of you, when you learn from it, in addition to what you are doing in your campuses, it is also going to help you decide or have a more firmer understanding of how do you want to progress your career, even in technology. What is it that you want to specialize on? In the same way, we have practical tips around how to be prepared for your first interview. And you can do that individually, you can do that as peer learning, you can also do that with the mentors available with Aspire for Her, as well as our leaders like Hima, who do it. I think they do it, they enable people on almost a regular basis. In addition to the courses, what is also critical is how do you really get to the badge? the badges are a way to show that you have gained a certain level of skills. When you talk about an IBM badge, or you talk about, let's say, an industry badge, we have Adobe as partners, we have Code Factories, we have many others who are already recognized names on in the market. When you get a badge of a particular course, you know that your employers, or for higher education, it will be known that you have acquired a certain level of skills. And fourthly, what we also recommend a lot is Open PTech is actually a community of learners and community of trainers and community of mentors. So there are constantly a lot of learning programs that are happening, which are webinar based on the platform. As you log in and become a part of this Open PTech community, you're also able to avail of many of those WebEx or webinars that happen. You're able to connect to experts, and you're of course able to connect to a larger IBM community. We have great representatives here, as well as Aspire for her support of mentors. This is quickly I wanted to highlight, and I think from a learning perspective, why we think Open PTech matters is, of course, the success that we have had in just a few months of time, but also because the platform is also supported by a large number of partners who are there as intermediaries to help in a better, deeper transferred learning to the students. We would really urge all of you who are listening in colleges, and the network of colleges and students, to explore Open PTech and come back to us and tell us how you can join. We would be very proud to be a part of your lives. Yeah, thank you, Anusha. Over to you.
That was wonderful, Rumi. Thank you for sharing your insight and what it takes for us to bridge the gap between the academics and the industries. As we can see, we have got an overwhelming response and participation from the audience, and so many questions coming in. But since we have time constraints, we will be taking top 2 questions. We have an interesting question for you, Rumi, from the audience. Rumi, as you mentioned, we are awarded with badges after completion of each course. Could you please let us know what is the relevance of this badge, and will this badge be recognized in other countries too, especially for those who are planning to study or work abroad?
Yes, absolutely. The quick answer is yes, because it's an industry badge. It is not confined to a particular geography, jurisdictions, etc. Because you are, you've got a badge from an accredited organizations, from industry credentials is what you hold, which apply to India and beyond. So yes, the answer is yes. But Hima, may I also ask you to add, if you have anything to add on this point? You also have enough experience with badges and how badges work.
Yeah, I personally feel that, Rumi, you covered it most, and it is pretty much something that people do look at your profile and they say, okay, they have the foundational knowledge. It is something that people feel, okay, good, there's something already, there's a base which is set up. They have to just practically implement, or they have to get more practice or experience in that space. That's all they're going to look at, because your foundational educational concepts are all clear. It's just that experience and on-the-job training is what is missing, and they would immediately not waste time in training you up for anything anymore. They'll immediately put you into this something called hands-on training that happens. Usually we used to give them classroom training. After that, we give them lab experience, and then we put them on a project. So this first part of training them in a classroom just moves away based on the seniority or the depth that you have done the badges, and they will get you into the hands-on training. Even a couple of badges, cloud badges, etc., which is there, they already have some hands-on labs as well, which is made available, which means that you do a Kubernetes or a cloud badge which has come up. They have a hands-on lab, free labs which are available. You actually can even show your, they give you some projects to complete, and only when you complete, you get the badge. That also sometimes certifies to employees that you have some basic understanding on job as well. I mean, on hands as well. That's how I would say it. And they would spend less time in training you that ways.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rumi and Hima. That was really insightful. I'm sure it must have answered all the queries that our audience had. We have another question for Hima. The hot technology that you mentioned about today is artificial intelligence, data science, blockchain, etc. Could you please tell us more about it and the huge number of career options that we could explore with it?
Okay, so I will not take a classroom session now for all of them, but I'll give you a very high level understanding of what they are. So let's start with a few of these. Now, artificial intelligence is now being used in almost everything and almost every other industry today. Starting from customer service to automated chatbots are answering your basic questions in a sophisticated machines, right? So where is all that is AI at the moment? And AI is now used in healthcare, banking, fraud detection, and pharmaceutical industries widely. Um, and it is important for us to understand that this is going to be the in thing now. Okay, it is started, and this will only grow. Data science is, as the digital transformation is progressing, more and more transactions are going digital. What does that mean? Large amount of data that is getting collected. Imagine the number of people who now have a smartwatch and Fitbits and smart bands and all that. It's collecting data in all the way possible. And it's, imagine that data, it is growing, right? And this collection of billions of people who are using such devices is setting up a data like a gold mine of information. Now, what are you going to do with all this information? You need to understand, to draw insights out of this, which will give the business an edge over the other competitions. That's what they're doing with this data science as a space. The business that is able to mine the data, understand using insights to drive strategic and business decisions is what we are looking at. So data science and big data and all this is associated with the skills will only help the companies to use the collected data to help them grow their business or make money. Okay. Now for this, you will need people who are able to analyze the data, who have the skills to look at it structurally and come out with insights that will help the business, right? That's what data science is doing in that space. Blockchain is very interesting. Let me tell you, blockchain is going to stay for good. What is blockchain? A chain of blocks that contain information. Simply put it that way. It is a decentralized system of structured, distributed database or a ledger. It's like a ledger where nobody can tamper with it. Nobody can erase what has happened. And it is so transparent. You can see everything. So basically, they say that no hacking can happen in this system, in this technology. Even if the hacker wants to come and hack, the informations are stored in blocks and there's a master block. So basically, anything tampered in between, he has to end up changing all the future and the back blocks, which will basically take him a long time. So it's they're so what do you say? They're so confident about this technology that it is being used today for all your bank transactions, and it's also kind of avoiding transaction fees. It's cutting it down. Double spending has been cut down. Net frauds are cut down. They are able to retrieve the lost data as well. So that this whole system or this whole technology is going to boom now, and the spaces in this area is only going to start questioning a lot of industries. Like, we have industries which are playing the middlemen between the bank and the customer, right? All that will start going away because this is going to integrate it and keep it so transparent that nothing can be tampered, and it's 1:1 in transaction, and there's verifiable transaction, traceable transaction, which is what we are going to get into, but that's on blockchain. There are many more technologies. Now, see, we can go into each one of them, and as we had Rumi speak about it. We do have open PTech. You can go deeper and it'll explain you everything. Today it's blockchain. Tomorrow it'll be XYZ. So what exactly do you think you should do as engineers and growing students? What is that you really need to look at? I think my small suggestion to all of you all is the key is to be able to inculcate a culture of coding and then apply your human intelligence and your domain knowledge of that industry to build the right code or an app to meet the requirements. I kind of gave a definition. Okay, so let me not make it too complex. I meant that your roles can change. Now, tomorrow something will come and you'll become a blockchain developer, tester, or you can become a design architect or anything in that. But I think careers are mainly around that space. You design, you develop, and you test. These are the main streams when it comes to technology. But the biggest value is when you're able to literally extract the entire technology for what it is being performing and giving back the core function of what you really wanted that technology to do. So it's all in your way of looking at how you want to progress your career. It's not about the roles which are available or what will come. Every new technology, every new technology transformation will come up with opportunities. It's how you adapt, how you learn, how do you put your creativity into it, and how do you be resilient and persistent on making that execution to a good result for the companies. That's what really matters. I hope I answered your question, Anusha, but I thought it's more than just a role. It's more than just a technology here, right?
Right, yeah. Very interesting, Hima. Thank you so much for sharing with us about all of that, what you know about the industry and all the knowledge. It is really going to benefit us. Thank you, Hima. Thank you, Rumi. I'm sure our wonderful audience too are delighted to know so much about this ongoing technology and industry expectation from us as students. We will be sharing the social media handles of the speakers. If any of you have more questions on PTech, please feel free to reach out to Rumi and Hima. I would like to thank you once again, Rumi and Hima, for taking out your valuable time and for your guidance to all our young participants who will be entering into the industry very soon, and they're definitely going to benefit hugely from you. I'd also like to thank our audience for their active participation. Thank you once again. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you also from IBM. On behalf of the company, we would like to also extend our heartfelt thanks to the VTU leadership team and many congratulations on your inauguration of the Women's Studies Center. We are all extremely proud and look forward to being a part of that. Thank you very much to Madhura and the Aspire for her team. And thank you, Anusha, for being a fantastic moderator for the session. Thank you very much.
I truly thank Rumi and Hima for being a part of this opening session, I would say, after the inauguration. And it was really insightful. And I'm sure all the students would take home some key points. And in future, they would trouble you time and again to understand it more. And I thank Anusha, the ex-VTU student, the alumni of VTU, and currently working at TCS. So thank you so very much. Madhura, it's been an inspiration, joining hands with AFH. And probably we will have a couple more events and courses from IBM and AFH with VTU Women's Studies Center. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Madhura, I think.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And wonderful beginning. Congratulations to all of you and all of us for being part of this fantastic inauguration and launch. I'm sure it will go from strength to strength. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.